What's up, guys? I'm going to be talking about modes. Modes. I kind of know a little bit about them, but I can't really grasp them too much. I don't really know how to use them. That's okay. I'm going to be going over two different ways that they can be taught. And the first way is more conventional. You'll probably see a teacher teach you this way, or some guy on YouTube. And anyway, first way that it's usually taught is like this. Usually they'll say this top line, they'll give you the C major scale starting from C to C, and they'll tell you that this is the Ionian mode. This is the exact same thing, because a major scale is just basically the Ionian mode. And then they'll say the Dorian mode is based on the second note of any major scale. In this case, we have a C major scale, so it's based on D. So the D Dorian is going from the note D to the note D in the C major scale, using the same notes as the C major scale, okay? The Phrygian mode is based on the third note of any major scale. So in the case of C major, we have E as our third note. So E Phrygian is going to start on the note E, use all of the same notes in the C major scale, and it's going to end on E. Okay, that's the usual way it's taught. I don't like it too much, personally, because it doesn't really give you the intuition behind it. It doesn't really give you a purpose to use it, right? But it's good for memorizing scale patterns, because if you know the order of modes, remember the order of modes is Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. Remember those. So the first mode is in G. I'm going to play in G. The first mode is Ionian, which is just a G major. Oops. The second mode is Dorian, so you take that root note. Starts on the second note, right? Just use the same notes as the G major. We're playing in G right now. Phrygian. Oops. That's Phrygian. Lydian, Mixolydian, we can go on and on. It's kind of boring after a while, but you get it pretty much. That way is good for memorizing scale shapes, and that's probably why they want to teach you like that, because they want you to get those down before you fully use these things. Okay. So that's the first way to learn them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the second way is a lot better. To me, at least. Let's see. You start on a C major scale. We'll start with that. And if you don't know what scale degrees are, I have a video on that in my music theory playlist. Look at that video. Look for scale degrees. Okay. In a nutshell, it's basically assigning numbers to each note of the major scale. So you take the shape of the major scale, the major shape, okay, 1, and you assign numbers to each note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it goes back to 1, or 8, I guess it's an octave, so it's the same thing. But basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then back to 1. And you can play that anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. So it's just assigning the numbers to the notes of the major scale. Get that down first? Good. Now, I like to think of modes as deviations from the major scale. This will make sense in a little bit. I made up this index card right here. You can pause it. You can just write it down. Okay. The Mixolydian is the same thing. See, if you're playing in C major, you just use the straight up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just use the same happy major scale for that, right? But if you wanted to play a Mixolydian if you wanted to play a Mixolydian scale over some kind of chord progression, a major chord progression, then all you have to do is flat the 7th. Okay? So you have the regular C major scale. I'll put this a little bit closer. You have the C major scale. This is uncomfortable. There we go. Okay, so you have the C major scale. And the Mixolydian mode said flat the 7th, right? Flat the 7th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is your 7, but we're gonna flat it. So instead of this note, we're gonna play this note. Remember, flat means go down 1/2 step, and then we play the octave. So. That's your Mixolydian mode. So, if we were to play that over a major progression, that was a C Mixolydian. It started on C and it ended on C. So, I'm going to play a C major progression, 1, 4, 5, really easy. And you're going to solo, well, not solo over it, I guess. If you want to, you can, but just play that. And then play the major scale over that and see how it kind of differs. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can rewind and all that stuff, but hopefully you get those little deviations. Modes are just deviations of the major scale, okay? And this is just a way to use them, a way to think about them, okay? There are many ways to think about them. There's harmonic ways, which are chords, okay? So you can think of them as chordal things. There's a bunch of studies on the internet that you can look up for these things, but anyway, let's get going. Especially Creative Guitar Studio is great on teaching you how to use modes harmonically. Okay, let's keep going. So that's the first mode, Mixolydian, and it only has one deviation from the major scale. Notice how these are ordered in such a way where, okay, this is the one deviation of the major scale. The Dorian has 2 deviations, a flat 3rd and a flat 7th. The Aeolian has 3 deviations, flat 3, flat 6, and flat 7, and so on and so forth. Phrygian has 4 deviations, Locrian has 5 deviations. Lydian is a little special case. Actually, what happens with Lydian is, well, basically you sharp the 4th, okay? I'm not going to get too much into that. But this is the way that I think of modes, and this works for me. Really, you can't learn modes just by knowing this. You have to play them. You really have to find out their sounds yourself, really. That's how you learn modes. Anyway, I hope this video helped. I gave you 2 ways to learn these things. This way, use this way to learn the shapes of the modes, and then use this way to kind of put a good intuitive understanding of how to use them in different circumstances. By the way, I'm going to write this down real quick. Oh, I'm not going to write it down because I can just tell you. In a major key, the modes that you can use in a major key are obviously the major, Ionian mode. You can use the Mixolydian mode. You can also use the Lydian mode. My favorite in a major key is a Mixolydian mode. That's my personal favorite. But you can use any 3, and it would sound decent. Okay, it would sound good. A minor key. With a minor key, you can play with the Dorian mode, the Phrygian mode, or obviously the Aeolian mode, which is the same thing as minor, natural minor. Okay, so you can use those 3 modes in a minor key. Okay, and then Locrian is just kind of your ugly cousin, pretty much. It's the mode's ugly cousin. So there's not much using Locrian. But anyway, that's it. That's it for this video. thanks for watching. I hope this really helped you in understanding modes, put you on that right path of just getting this. Okay, so anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more guitar lessons and tips, and I'll see you.